Here, okay. And welcome back to another episode of the Day After podcast.
What is up, everyone? It is I, Ryan Neil Wayne, with Joe King, and this was the last episode before the finale of Survivor 49. And I gotta say, I'm surprised how we got here.
Yeah.
It's just like this was this was definitely the Rizzo episode. If you were,
hmm
this was like you don't need any more proof of why he's in Survivor 49, but like this episode, it was basically the Rizzo episode, and then what the hell happened, and Steven somehow ended up going home.
Yeah, this was crazy by Sage and Kristina. I think they literally just handed Savannah the $1 million tonight. And I know it's really hard for either of them, regardless of what happens, of winning the game. But turning on your ally here, just like instantly, just like, nope, you're out. You can't even have Steven to maybe beat Savannah in these challenges. Savannah's probably going to win the next two challenges. Riz is going to play his idol next time. Savannah's going to make it to the end, and Savannah's going to win $1 million.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it was like things are starting to piece together a little bit because the only per the only other two people that won an individual immunity got eliminated the last two episodes. Now, that's not to say that, and someone can't rise up. I mean, Sage Sage lasted a little longer, so maybe that she had the possibility of doing it. And then it also depends on what the challenges are.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same
Sage is the
same
chance,
aspect,
only chance. But even then, it's like I wouldn't bet on Sage. Like she's done decent. Like she's shown that she could win in certain seasons. But she like everything that I think Sage is good at, Savannah is also equally, if not better, than at. So it's like,
I mean, Savannah especially, I feel like her strongest suit is endurance,
yeah,
which I feel like there's going to be finale. There's like usually an obstacle course one. I think we saw that in the preview,
it's usually at
and then
5.
the yeah, and then the last one, Samotion. I wouldn't. It's a type of endurance, but not the type of endurance that she has done on the show. But
Yeah,
also, I don't know if we get Samotion again,
yeah, I'm not sure.
especially when
Yeah.
that's probably what they're going to do for Survivor 50.
Yeah, because that was on the voting one, and a lot of people do that one. I know that there's the one from 46 that I do think some people liked, so I could see that one also making the.
The one where they just roll it up.
Yeah, and it like
Yeah,
pachinkos its way, and you gotta do your thing and then stop that. Yeah. I think people like that, but the question is, it just doesn't have the fan, like the casual fan, like remembrance that Samotion has, and
exactly.
that's going to be probably something that just wins out. Even if like I actually kind of really like that challenge a lot, and I'd love to see it return. I wouldn't be surprised if whatever got second place in the voting though is what ends up happening this season.
That was my train of thought too.
Yeah,
But yeah. Uh but like yeah, so it also was one of those things where I know, well, when we went into this episode, I know like last week you were like, or it feels weird saying last week since we recorded this episode like 2 days
yeah,
3 days ago, but you were like, oh, like there is actually an edit for Steven. And then you
yeah.
even said, oh, well, it might not look for him just because of this one editing choice. And lo and behold, he goes home this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I also preface it saying I think it's really hard for him to get any further, but there was something at least like more there than say a Kristina or a Sage or even a Sophi B in certain aspects. Because Sophi B, I mean, especially after this episode, Sophi B 0% chance of winning.
We,
She,
we, we, we talked about it. We talked about it
yeah,
last week. It's like she needs to use it correctly. And
yeah,
one, I wasn't aware you can just play the block a vote. before tribal council even
Oh yeah, that
starts.
was a huge thing. I'm pretty sure I brought that up. That I was like, if she uses it on Steven, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, so like like oh, so like she just kind of
Yeah,
was a little bit SOL in that situation. But I think the interesting thing was she was all gun ho of making that move. And then, like she got chose for the reward, which I know like sometimes it's like, oh, you just choose the people that you're aligned with to go. Wow, you're really isolating everyone else. So it's like, well, what do you want her to do?
yeah,
You would just be saying you were smoozing. She was trying to schmooze you if she chose you. It's like
yeah,
it's a lose-lose situation. I mean, like she wasn't going to gain any favor with you that much by doing that.
yeah.
Um, but like it turned out to be super, super important. Maybe a little bit unbeknownst to Savannah when she won that challenge.
Yeah,
How
it
much that
genuinely might have been a game-winning reward challenge that Savannah wins there. Like it absolutely dictated to allow Sophi B to just say screw turning, screw being the first person in Survivor history to use it correctly, knowing she can use it correctly to save herself on an idol that she believes is going to be like this is the last time to get it, and she doesn't. And she
yeah.
even was like, "Oh, I know my grandma is telling me that I got to do this," and then she didn't listen to her grandma. And look where that's going to put her, third place, because she is, I think, tied to third place right now. I don't see her going anywhere else but there.
Yeah, especially because like that trio has the numbers, so it's just
Yeah,
like it is also like we said, so Savannah, it seems likely she's going to win out and then also tie for the overall record
yeah,
at 5, which, would be insane.
yeah.
And my inner challenge
Yeah,
piece is like, please, please do that. That would be so badass. Um, and then also Rizzo is guaranteed to make it to fire making.
yeah.
So it's like there's no other like those two are pretty much golden up until then.
Yeah, I
And
can
then it's like,
literally tell you how the rest of the season plays out because I think it's like super predictable. And it's Sage goes out of 5, Kristina loses fire making, Sophi B is third, Rizzo gets second place with maybe like a couple votes, and then Savannah gets the rest.
I can see that. My thing with Rizzo is like right now he's definitely playing a very, very flashy game.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like his arc was this idol, and this episode was very much like I have this idol, and I've fooled everyone else, even though no one should have fallen for this.
mm-hmm.
That it was like because it was a tribal idol, it's only good until 6, which I'm like, y'all people
Yeah.
believe that? Like, come on.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's a lot of people on this season who have not really watched Survivor. I swear, like what we saw this episode, there's a clear lack of just like knowledge of the game.
But he was like, well, this is the last time I play it. And then then he was like, maybe I'll play it on Sophie. He made a huge song and dance out of it and then didn't play it. And he was like, yeah, but I'm guaranteed to Final Four now. And even if like he wins immunity next round, he can just play it on Savannah if he so chooses. Um,
Yeah.
so like he's kind of good.
Yeah, and I mean,
Like
Sage and Kristina. I mean, there might be what we usually see is a challenge advantage that happens at 5. We see that quite often. That's the only thing that's left in like play. So they're not going to get some idol or something now to flip it back over to their side. They're just drawing dead and hoping that they manage to be the one to make it fire and then win fire. Like that's basically what they're in right now. And then also if they do that, I mean they just still lose the game. So it's like
well, there is the merge idol. The thing is, and I know like some people are like, why are they going out for it? Well, especially now, it's like they don't really have time because
Yeah.
uh when the day starts I think it would be, what is it, like day 24? It'll start in like, hey, they'll have that little mini like advantage thing, and then they have the challenge, and then they have tribal. So it's like there really is no time.
Yeah, what I think happened is there was one of those votes for Survivor 50 that was like about advantages. Like, do you want a bunch of them? Do you want no? And then there's like a middle option. I think people voted the middle option where it's like just a little bit, but not enough because this has not been the advantage heavy season that we're used to in the new era. It's very limited. And I think part of that is once the merge idol gets played, it doesn't get re-hidden. That I think that there's a very good chance that they're like that was gone once Kristina played it. It did not re-enter the circulation. It was just gone because that's the way that I think Survivor 50 might be structured.
It could. The thing is, all we can go off of is like the edit and stuff. Kind of like in
Mm-hmm.
48, like there was a point where no one was looking for the idol. I think this season is interesting on the level where people feel good, or like people feel good enough. It was like, oh well, we just get one of the three that are on the bottom. Oh, Sophi B will be able to, let's just say Sophi. We only have the one Sophi now. We can just say Sophi, or
Mm-hmm.
oh, we can just get Sophi to like flip and stuff like that. They always say this, and so like they do, but lo and behold,
Sophie
every
B will be
single time, even when Savannah is vulnerable, they're like, there's always something where it's like, actually, we need to target the person in the middle, or actually, we need to target this. And
mm-hmm.
it's just like, it just happens every time where they're like, it should be pretty obvious what we do.
Yeah.
And then even when they get back to camp, they're just like, actually, let's go after this person instead. And it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, what I hate also about the season is Jeff being like, "This season is so fluid in the alliances and everything." This is some of the most like these people are these people, these people are these people, but this side just sucks, and they just keep targeting each other and targeting each other and
yeah,
targeting each other. That's not fluid. That is one side like exploding on itself, and then the other side just being like, "We win, yay!"
yeah. It's just like every week it's just like the plot armor that Savannah and Rizzo have. It's like I don't think there really has been, unless it's a super idol, someone who has had a public idol that they've just been scared to go after this entire the pretty much the entirety that he's had it.
Yeah,
The entirety of the merge,
yeah.
basically.
Well, remember last season, Eva had that idol the entire time. Everyone knew about the idol. No one went to target Eva, and because Eva knew no one was going to target her, she just never had to use it until Final Five. It's a
Yeah.
very similar thing where you just have this person who just kind of has it the entire time. No one really wants to make the move for them. They're all scared that they'll be the one who gets on the other end of it. But like when you flush idols when there are numbers in the game, you don't flush idols
Yes.
deep in the game because then
No.
it can be you. But if you have a bunch of people and you know that side is targeting this person, you don't say, you know what, let's not flush that idol, let's go for the people that the idol wants. And that's
You split
yeah,
votes.
it has
Well, I
been
mean, like
crazy.
the difference between that is that whereas Rizzo has been on the supposed bottom, Eva was also on the top. Like,
Hmm.
they had the Cool Kids Alliance, like the Strong Alliance all together.
Yeah.
And like Eva was just like a part of it.
Yeah,
And so it was like,
but I just
well,
don't know if we can even really call Rizzo and Savannah on the bottom because they've been in the right every vote since the Nate one. Like the Nate was the only one, and then they've just always been dictating the votes. Like
you're right. It's
you
just
can't
like
even really call them the bottom.
it is it's crazy because like narratively speaking, they have been, but at the same time, shit just keeps working on their favor because they keep wanting to cannibalize themselves, and it's that fear of the idol. And like, they play into Rizzo's hand every single week, which
Yeah.
is one of the reasons why I think him losing fire making, that theory that's going around,
Hmm.
is legit, because it's just like I'm looking at this point and I'm like, because like Savannah, as you stated before, kept, like might have rubbed people the wrong way, stuff like that. When it comes to Rizzo, it's just like there's a bit of charm and like fun to like him just holding the idol and
Yeah,
all that,
but
and
to be
then
fair, the
not.
jury did not seem into it. You know, like when Rick Devens is doing his whole thing, the jury was like, clapping and they're all having a good time. The jury did seem a little like, yeah, whatever, Rizzo. Like they're kind of over this whole thing. So I do think there's a good chance he still gets there and just doesn't have the respect. Because, what I see is happening is Savannah's going to win Final Four. She's not going to put herself in fire. Like, there's just no world where she would ever put herself against Rizzo in fire. So we can just kind of, knock that one off the list of people. Then I'm positive Sage goes home next. If Savannah wins Final Five immunity, she wants Sage going home because that means that she gets immunity at 4. And I think they're just
Yeah,
going to be down to do it, take out Sage. I don't really see Kristina or Sophi beating Rizzo. I still think that Rizzo is a very likely person to win that fire against both of them. And it's going to likely be against Kristina. So that's the most likely person, because I think Savannah's going to bring Sophi because she now knows Sophi can't win the game based off of what happened tonight.
yeah, I agree. Well, I agree on that part. The thing is, it's like it's so tough because it's like there is a possibility that Christina wins based off of the whole we discussed it last week of like, because of the pagonging of all the other African American players, that they're, I don't want to say that they base it off of that, but I mean it's like a very strong thing. And I don't know, I feel like it's a like it's a theory, especially because of like how four in a row, that's
Yeah.
like, I don't look back and look at the records and stuff, but at the same time, especially in the social climate and stuff, it's something where that's very apparent. And then so
Mhm.
like that stuff might play a factor into it.
Yeah, my reason, and it might be an unpopular opinion, I think Christina would beat Savannah at the end because of that story and all that stuff. I think that she would get 4 votes, and that would be and then maybe a split vote happens or something. And I think Christina is very likely going to win in that scenario, and I don't
Oh, I
really
don't want to
yeah.
fully discredit in the sense of like, oh, if that happens, it's just because of like, her race or anything. I mean, like, she has played a deep, apart from like Savannah, she's played like she
The
very
re
like she's very social, like likable person, and
yeah.
she hasn't been a threat in challenges, and like the social threat and like that, like
Yeah.
parts that like tug at the emotions
But
might sway
I just
them
want to say
different.
realistically right now watching the show, percentage chance that Christina wins the game based off of what you've seen.
Zero.
Exactly, and that's what
You
I'm
can't
saying.
have
That
two. You can't have two.
the edit has clearly killed her in the edits because I really think that once the black people started going, that her confessionals were heavily about it. That was a lot of what her content was, and that's why she's been essentially just purpled and edited out because they don't want to be talking about all of it, and they don't want the season to turn into that. I think they're very scared of that. And
I think, yes, obviously you don't want that controversy going into your biggest season.
yeah,
I don't know. The thing is, it's like we don't know because we don't know what footage is there.
yeah,
And I mean, we'll find out in the following weeks when there's more exit interviews and stuff.
hmm
Obviously, it's something that a lot of fans have noticed. The cast have talked about it as well.
Yeah.
It's something where we'll find out more from Kristina's point of view after finale,
Yeah.
because I don't want to make just blanket
Yeah.
accusation, or I don't want to say accusations, but blanket theories about that kind of subject without really having more evidence about it.
Yeah.
Mostly because it's listen, I'll admit it's not the easiest subject to talk about, especially because, Joe and I were white guys and
Yep.
stuff. So we, these kind of subject matters hit different than, than someone who has had to go through life and has had to deal with microaggressions, been, been victims of racism and stuff like that. It's different because Joe and I, we haven't had to deal with that.
Hmm.
And so it's one of those things where it can be tough to bring up or talk about fully. Especially because also it's one of those things where it's there in the season. It's being discussed, just not on the show.
Hmm.
And we do have a responsibility to at the very least mention it on here. I just say it's tough when we go into theories of stuff because it's so I don't know, we don't have all the evidence. I
Yeah.
guess that's why I'm a little
Yeah.
trepidatious about going down that route.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, though, Ryan, we're podcasters, okay? And you know
We
what?
are.
And you know what podcasters do best? We theorize until we're proven right or wrong.
I thought I was talking about chickens.
No, no, not which came first, the chicken or the egg.
No, I mean I mean there has to be two chickens in order for.
Yeah. There doesn't they're gonna make eggs regardless, and as long as you take good care of them.
In health class where you're partnered up with someone and you have to make sure the egg doesn't drop.
Yeah, let's go with that, Ryan. Good job, gold star.
Thank you.
But yeah, what I was just trying to say is I think there's a very good possibility Kristina wins, or at least would have gotten second place and would have had bigger edits because they would have wanted to show at least their second place person doing well. I think that this is very in line also with some of our recent fire making edits of Teeny, for instance, who kind of was just there for most of the post merge and then just kind of drunkenly got her way to Final Four and then lost. I can just see them just saying okay, that's it for Kristina. We don't need to give her too much because we got Savannah Rizzo, we know, on 50. Let's give them all the screen time. Let's take away everyone else's edits. And yeah, I mean, we started episode 1 already going, this is Rizzo or Savannah's game.
Yeah.
And we are now at the finale with literally them as the only options.
Which fucking thankfully, all right, thankfully, Survivor 50, we don't have to worry about that too much.
Yeah.
Because the returning season, I don't think any of those people are going to break their NDAs and we're going to get rumors of stuff like that. It's what, that's one of the things that's kind of, there are a few reasons why 49 is such a weird season. Obviously, from the get-go, that was the thing where it was so it's tough because it's hard to remove that lens when you're watching something. It's if someone told you the ending to The Sixth Sense, I mean one of the most famous plot twists of all time in cinema, and it's there's the difference of someone who has not heard about that plot twist, and then it's un you once you've heard the plot twist, it's you can't watch it and not see it through that lens.
Yeah.
It's you can be oh, I can see how someone may miss this, but it's hard to once you have a spoiler, it's damn near impossible to remove that lens from it.
Yeah.
because even if there's something of like doubt in the narrative of something, you're like, oh, well, such and such should do this. So like it has to make sense later.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're here. I'm ready for the season to be done so we can just then focus on 50 because I will say this season like had I think a few great episodes in it, but as like a whole, it's definitely one of the lower tier New Era seasons for me. Like I love Rizz God.
Uh,
I love
I
Rizz God as a
praise God.
character, but
Yes,
like
I agree.
one player just cannot like make me go that season is it like he's great, but I'm still like not like this is my favorite New Era season or this is one of my favorite seasons of Survivor of all time. I'm very much like annoyed mostly with a lot of the players on this season. Like there is a lot of just like appalling gameplay from people.
You need, I feel like for a great season, you do need an overall great cast. And
Yeah.
obviously, not everyone can shine
Yeah.
because if everyone shine, no one does. But it's something where Rizz God definitely was slash is like the heart of the season. He
Yeah.
brings a lot of the entertainment. Savannah brings that like competitive edge, and then like Sage brings entertainment as well. But like I would say like where Riz brings like entertainment and strategy, Sage can bring like yeah, she is strategic, and I think I don't know, like I feel like Riz God is just a lot more flashy, where Sage isn't as flashy.
Yeah, well, she's not as flashy, and I really think once Jawan got blindsided, she had no one to talk to about the game anymore, and she just was. I think she's made wrong decision after wrong decision after wrong. Like I think it's now just like been bad gameplay from her pretty much consistently.
Yeah, the stuff that she's been doing, I don't think benefits her gameplay as well. It's just more so like one, revenge is nice. However, sometimes it's not the best move.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Also,
do
it wasn't
you?
just Sophie S who blindsided Jawan. It was also Savannah and Rizzo who you're now helping win the game.
I
uh,
guess like they were like, well, like I of course they're gonna go for Jawan or something. So maybe that's why it's like if the friend that hurts you is worse than the enemy that there's some like analogy out there where it's like
yeah.
it's like I think there's a Shakespeare quote. I can't remember it.
Yeah, I know. But also Kristina, I mean, I do also think her voting out Steven, terrible. Like, I did not see that coming. I thought that at the very least, Kristina was voting, and maybe they managed to convince Sage. Because there was like, Sage was like a little on the fence, and then Kristina was like fully on, let's take out Sophi B. Like, she was on that side, like, before the tribal, and then suddenly tribal happened, and then it was just like, okay, Steven, you're out. And like I mean I've heard the other side of it because I've heard some podcasts and people are like this was good for Kristina and Sage because in their minds their best final three scenario features those two and Sophi B because of what just happened. So take out Steven and then hope that you can take out Savannah at 5 and then take out Rizzo at 4 and then you're in that scenario where like maybe you have a chance. But the thing is you also have now just lost your numbers. So you're more likely to go out at 5 and 4 than anything else. So it's just like at least you had a path
Yeah,
to the
these
end.
moves, yeah, these moves should have been made
way,
earlier.
way
I
long,
feel,
yeah.
yeah, it's like timing is such a key component of these games, and sometimes when it comes to like that, it's like, all right, you have a challenge beast on your side. However, it's like you still need to take care of your your opponent's challenge beast before you go after yours, because if you go after your, or like if you wait too long and then you have like two or three challenge beasts at the end, you just kind of isolate yourself. Like, yeah, you can get one, maybe two of the challenge beast,
Yeah.
but whoever is like still winning and dominating the challenges, they're gonna make it to the end. Because right
Yeah.
now it's like I'm trying to think if there's anyone else that's won an individual challenge that was like reward. And
Um,
no, it was like Steven and then it was Savannah. So it's
Savannah.
like,
Yeah, yeah, and then obviously there's like team stuff, but we're not going to count that. And yeah, it's literally just been the same three people winning challenges. This has been a very not physical cast. Like at the end of the day, like it is like if you ranked physicality on Survivor cast, this would probably be in like one of the bottom 10, I'd say, of seasons. Like it's definitely on the like the lower spectrum of
yeah,
physicality. Um
I think that's fair.
yeah, so yeah, it just kind of it really benefits being one of the people who is at least like a B challenge player, I think, because like I think Savannah, Steven, and Sophie S are about B to A tier challenge players. Like I actually don't really consider any one of those three like S tier, like they're going to win, you know, like against everyone, against the like the challenge beast of Aussie and like the true goats, but they're gonna win against like average competition, like your neutrally average physicality season. They'll win a challenge or two on those seasons typically.
Well, sometimes that's tough to gauge
Mm-hmm.
because it's tough to gauge. I mean, like this episode, they even brought up the fact of like D winning
Yeah,
this Unity challenge, and then that led to her win. It is kind of weird how
yeah,
Jeff has been kind of like he's been hinting at a lot of challenges of like, oh, this happened in this challenge and that challenge. It was like there have been a lot of like name drops of that the last few episodes, and I'm wondering, well, like, what are you getting at? Uh, and when it came to like D being like, oh, D only lasted like 24 minutes. It was like, and then her and Sage. The crazy part is, I would say, especially with endurance, is that you can beat the record. However, you beat the record, but you can go way further. You might
mm-hmm.
be able to go way further because your record is dependent on the person that
Yeah,
drops.
exactly.
So, like, there's something like, let's say, for this one, like, let's say Sage drops, and then who knows how much longer Savannah would actually go in this challenge.
It did seem like she could go way longer. Like she didn't seem like when she got off, she wasn't having any problem walking. You know,
No,
like she
or like
definitely, yeah,
another prime example is the Gabler one with the bucket.
mm-hmm.
Like he looked solid, and like obviously saying someone you're doing this for every minute and stuff. You even see Sage doing that. Like
Yeah,
she's like bargaining. She's also like saying like she keeps saying like her loved one's name. She keeps saying her like partner's
yeah,
name. It's like one of those things where it was like like
yeah.
trying to replicate that energy.
Yeah, I don't know if you caught this, but at least I thought of it when Jeff brought up the fact that this was D won this challenge. They like shortly cut to Savannah's foot, and I was like, oh, they're doing a big toe like kind of little joke by doing that
I
because I
don't
was
pay attention to feet,
yeah,
Joe.
I know, but like my mind immediately was like, oh my god, they literally just told us that
I didn't
Savannah.
know, Joe. I
Uh,
don't. That's not what I think about.
you don't have to think about it. I'm just letting you know that that was what the editors did, was they were clearly like hinting towards that this is Savannah the new D winning this challenge just like D did. Now look at Savannah's toes.
All right, Quentin Tarantino, Joe.
Terrible, terrible. Boo.
Yeah, it's not my best, but it's
Yeah.
applicable.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that's something I thought just while we were watching it, and it was yeah, Savannah wins. I mean, big shocker. I think I don't think any of us saw this coming at all. That Savannah's gonna win and keep winning.
I know that I said earlier in the episode that I think she can win out, but yes, I also did not see this coming.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, 100%. Um, so yeah, Sage though took it very bad. Not a good time for Sage, and obviously understandable. She knows that Savannah has to not win for her to have a chance. That's why she started trying to bargain with Savannah so she could then take out Savannah. Like, that's where it was going.
Well, I mean, like, also stuff like that can throw off your opponent.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like, it does seem like Savannah does have like the fortitude to like lock in and stuff.
yeah,
But there were some times where she was, I can't, like, she's looking for the words, but like,
yeah,
obviously you want to focus on it because
yeah,
sometimes when you're doing those bargainings or sometimes when you're talking during a challenge, you're trying to throw off your opponent.
yeah.
I have
Me too.
used this aboard.
Yeah.
It is famously I have used this before.
Yeah.
For people that don't know, in an org we played, I was up against a guy who lifts and then a break dancer, and it's like, we're doing planks, and like I'm okay, and especially back then, like I'm okay when it comes to athleticism, but I'm not going to outbeat these people. If you were a betting man, you would not bet for me to win that. But one person, the guy who lifts, his cat was running around, and I was like playing into that. I'm like, trip up your papa, trip up your papa. And I'm saying like, how much time's gone by? I want to see if I beat my record. Like saying stuff like that can get into your opponent's hand and
Yeah.
also kind of like throw them off, especially if they're trying to focus on what they're doing.
Yeah, but also doing that sometimes can screw up you as well because you're trying to figure out what to say and how to get into their heads, and then suddenly you lose your focus for a second, and then something
But
can
if you're
happen.
really good at improv, it's
Yeah,
just second nature.
yeah, yeah, true.
I
But
did end up winning that challenge.
mhm,
It destroyed my body to do so, but I
yeah,
won the challenge.
yeah, I remember seeing you as you kept playing that game, and you looked like you were not going to win any more challenges because you put all your all into winning that one.
Because I knew I would have went home if I lost.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the very next challenge, it was like use your hands to like get a nickel inside or a quarter inside like a fork thing, and I'm like, my arms feel like jelly right now. I do
Hmm.
not have the finesse of my hands to pull that off.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, Savannah wins. And then yeah, I will say the lead up to Tribal was like, okay, what's gonna happen? And it just felt like a very much like a comedy of errors by Steven, Christina, and Sage, like where they had everything they needed to do something this round,
Yeah.
and every single one of them miscommunicated or misplayed something, or just like almost every, even so, yeah, Sophi B messes up. I think I do think the Rizz God kind of like once again doing the showboat thing is actually going to kind of annoy a lot of the jury members as well. I think that just in general, like 5 people here had like mistakes that I do think are not going to work out for them. Um,
And bring
and
in
yeah,
Q for the big mistakes.
yeah. So I've heard, yeah, people were saying like it felt like this was like a satirical farce or something on the Game of Survivor that happened here. We're just no, everything that could go wrong for these people were going wrong.
I was watching and I'm like, does he actually play his idol? And I'm like, no, he holds it. Or like, I was like, is Sophie going to use it on Steven, or is she gonna, or is like Rizzo going to get his idol taken? And I'm like, wait, Christina actually voted for Steven? Because like Steven was hurt by that.
Yeah,
Like,
I would be too. I mean, it's not fun when literally your closest allies turn on you when you had gifted them a way to make a move to have numbers for the rest of the game.
like, especially like, well, especially with like Christina, because I feel like she always seemed like a very loyal person and stuff. And I know sometimes you have to do stuff in the game. So, like, like it's a head decision, not a game decision. But it's like, if you know the numbers aren't
Yeah.
really with you,
Yeah.
like you can give someone a homie vote. And
Yeah.
like, it,
Yeah.
I was actually very surprised that when Jeff was stalling or the edit was stalling when before Steven's name came up, I was like, wait, it should be like 2-2 at this point, right? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. What I noticed though while watching when Steven told Sage and Christina about his block of votes, they looked confused. Like I'm just gonna straight up. It looked like they didn't know like what that actually meant for the game. They were like, "Oh, okay, so we have a block of okay, cool." And then they were just like, kind of like, it looked like they were just like a cow looking at an oncoming train during that. Like, and I know the editors obviously did some like to make them look bad because that's just they want them to be the side that loses. So
Fair
they're gonna,
trick. Yeah.
yeah. But it looked like clearly they were like if they were excited about it, they would have been excited about it. They would have been like, yes, we got something. And they did not have any of that reaction.
Well, because like you're on that side, and then you also know that like, oh, we can block a vote. We don't have to worry about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like, let's say that Steven didn't have to block a vote.
Mm-hmm.
Here's how things would kind of play out. Let's say everyone is very loyal. They're not going to turn on their alliance.
Mm-hmm.
You have they gave themselves a name. Was it the Taco Trio, or it was like something where it was like they gave themselves a nickname when they were on the when they were on the reward.
Um, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Anyway, like, all right, we'll call it the main character trio.
Uh,
So like you have these three. One has immunity, the other has an idol, and obviously they're not privy to the knowledge is power because Sophi didn't tell anyone about it.
yeah.
So if I'm Sage or I'm Christina, here's how I know things are going to play out. They're probably going to go after Stefan or Steven. Sorry, my bad.
Stefan.
I have a friend named Stefan.
Yeah.
And so I say that more often in my regular life. I'm sorry.
I'm just sorry
Anyway,
that we're at week 12 of this character.
shut up. Anyway, so Steven, and so like I don't so you have Steven here, and then you have Sophi. And then if each side are like, all right, Steven's the target, and then these three are like, all right, Sophi is the target, and then they go into a tie, then they have to revote and they tie again, then it's like, all right, it has to be unanimous or we go to rocks. Rizzo can't because he played his idol. Savannah can't draw rocks because she has immunity. And the two people that have votes, they automatically come immune. So the main character trio, and then I'll call them the Hina trio, uh, Steven becomes immune there, and then it's either Sage or Christina. That's very bad.
But once you know about the block of votes, that's no longer a factor.
That's not a factor. I did want to bring this
Yeah.
up too, because like it is one of the things where that was a scenario. So the block of vote should have been a godsend to them because
Yeah,
they totally avoid that.
that's what I'm saying. Like the second that they learn about this information, they should have been jumping for joy. They should have been so happy because that was a blessing in disguise. Like they didn't know about it, and now suddenly like, wow, we actually have the numbers at Final Six when the other three think they have control. and they said, nah, they can keep having control and we can lose power. That was that I mean, that's the decision that was essentially made tonight by Sage and Kristina.
Yes.
Which is just like abysmal gameplay. Like I'll say maybe this might be like in the Mount Rushmore of worst new era survivor moves. Potentially worst moves of like all time by a side. Like it was a crazy, crazy decision.
It's something where it does really cost them the game because I'm like trying to see their route to the end and it's just not looking as clear.
No, it's pretty bad. It's like they're literally Sage is just like I think also Sage emotionally was so wrecked by losing to Savannah that she wants a rematch against Savannah without Steven in the equation. So she's like, take out Steven. I want a rematch against Savannah next time. And so she's just going to bet on herself beating Savannah and then betting on herself probably going into fire against Rizzo and then hoping that that's enough for her to win, which like to me that's just like a lot of betting on something that is unlikely very often. And it's just like
I'm trying to also think like because sometimes, well, the thing is, ironically, she had the opportunities to get rid of her targets and stuff like that, but
yeah.
she decided vengeance was the better option. I think also when you're in it, obviously when you're in the game, you have a different lens that you're seeing everything through. You don't have God's eye. You don't know all the information. You don't know the
Yeah.
truth of what's really going on. But it's one of those things where it's like Sage is a very emotionally driven contestant. We saw that even with the Shannon vote, where she was like, I just don't vibe with her, period. And
Mm,
so, like, the fact that she seems like she's overplaying, I'm going to lean into that because I just can't. There's just a personality difference.
mm,
Um, so it's like one of those things where she's here right now. She had opportunities to make different moves. She didn't. But right now, she's right here. Obviously, she's not going to admit defeat. So you have to like play to your outs. It's like, all right, what is my win conditions? All right, what's the easiest win condition to get? All right, how do I get there? And I think she's in this place where it's like now her win condition is making sure that Rizzo and Savannah are eliminated, one of which is guaranteed to go to the final four, especially because
mm,
the one thing that could have stopped him from playing the idol this in the at final five is gone now.
mm.
So it's like it's straight up like Rizzo will be in final four.
Yep.
Savannah might actually win. So it's like I'm just trying to see it. So it's like all she can really do is hope that she wins immunity and then Savannah doesn't win
Yeah.
because Rizzo kind of proved that he will have like preserve himself a little bit as opposed to like playing the idol on someone else if he himself is vulnerable.
Yeah, but the thing is that even if Sage wins immunity, I would let you know Christina's just going to get voted out. like
Yeah,
we
exactly.
we know. So it's not even like Sage just has to win this one immunity and then she takes out her targets. Her target is safe now for the rest of the game. Like maybe a fire making situation, but like that's like
Well, the
literally it.
only thing is if Sophie fully believe, like if Sophie does finally come around because she has flopped back and forth, but like she has kind of like her like loyalty has wavered a lot, but
Mm,
ultimately she does choose to go with
yeah.
Rizzo and Savannah. But when you're at final five, it's like, do you stay with that? It's like, listen, this is $1 million decision.
Yeah.
Do I go with people that might beat me at the end, especially after because like when you make a blunder like that this late in the game, it's like, oh crap, the jury's going to remember that, and then you start to second guess what are your other moves and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, what I will say though, in playing like online reality games, a lot of times when someone knows that they're not winning, they just do what they can to let their best friends win the game. And I really think that she just is like, well, my game's over. Let me help Savannah, my bestie, become the winner of Survivor 49. So let me just
Yeah,
work with you now. That's just how it goes. I'll take third place. I'll get, I don't know, 86 grand or whatever it is, and call it good.
yeah. I also there are a few times where I know I'm going, so I'm going to try. Or there have been times where I have been even straight up eliminated. I'm like, I had advantage, or I could drag someone, and I tried to help them out.
Mhm. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's just kind of GG's for Sage and Kristina. I mean, we've known this for pretty much a while now, like where their edits have like Sage got edited, but it has not been winner edit. It's definitely been character edits. More so than like, wow, look at this person who's got everything needed that you needed a winner. Which is fine, you know, you gotta have those characters on a season. And then yeah,
Yeah,
Kristina was just has been drawing dead since episode 2 or 3 when she got 0 confessionals.
yeah.
So just we know we already know what the deal is with those two, and then yeah, it's just I really think that Survivor 50 really did just put first place and second place on their season, and we're seeing that happen. We're seeing how these two became the top two of the season.
Well, especially if it pans out the way that it's looking. I mean, right now, Rizzo just kind of like showed right then and there why, where he was like, yeah, everyone wanted to target me. Everyone was afraid of my idol, but no one made the move because they always thought every single tribal council I was going to play it. And I just ended up didn't. And then so like that's why, like that undoubtedly, plus being a character is why he's in season 50. We're
Mm-hmm.
starting to see even more of the Savannah edit, and I'm pretty sure if she breaks the women's record for most challenges and then ties with the guys, that's something like that's legendary. That's something
Yeah.
that in over 25 years of the game, like not literally like since like season one, that record has been set, and no one, the people have only been able to tie it. To
Mm-hmm.
break the record is something where we don't have to have that differentiation between like, oh, men or women tying for it. It's like, no, straight up, five is the record to beat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that explains why she made it onto 50. I mean, like, there's definitely reasons for why those two are getting on, but I think that while we were watching it, we were definitely hoping that, you know, maybe they one of them at least gets randomly taken out at some point, and but they were just a big character, and that's why or something. Because like Rizzo, like in episode 8, when there's like final 8 or something, yeah, it was like, of course that's why he made it on to Survivor 50. If he had win out right away, we would have still been like, yeah, I get it. Like, you're gonna have that guy on 50. Savannah has definitely been like, we've been waiting. We've been waiting to see really why she's on 50, and as the season is essentially coming to its closure, you're like, oh, okay, now we're seeing the full picture of why Savannah's on 50.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Ugh.
Um, is there really? I feel bad asking that. I'm like, because I did watch this episode earlier today, as opposed to when we did that episode, and then it was like 5, 6 days later, or 4 days later,
Uh-huh.
that we did this. I'm like trying to think if there's any notable things that happened in this episode because we hit like the major key points,
We
the
we
major
haven't
takeaways.
really talked about the loved ones, the letters from home.
The letters,
Hmm.
well, I mean, one, that just was the biggest thing that did I mean, that swayed, Sophie to
Yeah.
stick with the trio.
Yeah. I mean,
And
it
then,
is the most powerful reward to win, and yeah, usually, yeah, that's the kind of reward that if you isolate and don't let people get their loved ones, they hold it against you. And it was not held against that group at all. They because of what Sage and Kristina did, which is crazy.
which is like, well, no, well, the thing is, it's like, I feel with that one, it does suck, but like, why would one, why would Savannah reward the others? I mean, maybe
Yeah,
Sage, you can make an argument there. It's
yeah.
like, hey, remember
I,
only.
I get Savannah's point of view. I just don't understand why the other three are gonna be like, okay, yeah, let's just do Steven now, even though that it's that other group. It gotta have this experience. Like you
Oh,
would be resentful, even if you're one of the ones who's getting brought along, because you know that that's just creating a group. Like you would still be pissed off at them. Like I would not be like, yeah, let's let those people stay in the game this round.
I mean, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, trust me, it would suck for me knowing that I wouldn't get the letters. I'm not saying like, I mean, like, it's one of those things where when you're in it, obviously, and especially like, oh, you could have heard something from home. I mean, like, even the moment with Rizzo, because we got a lot of him and his like point of view from like the letter from his dad, and then like in I'm forgetting what it was. I know it's like around Greece, the country where his parents are
I
from.
want to
Because I
say
looked it
it's
up.
like Albania or something like
I
that.
think it's Albania. It's like
Yeah,
it's either in Greece or around Greece.
yeah.
Um, and so like like, and then he was like, oh, he said a quote that he would always say to me and stuff like, and like, granted, we haven't seen it on the show as much, up to this point of like how much family has really mattered to him. Like, he talked about his brother and like
Hmm.
how he's been like, his drive, like he's been trying to be inspiration for him, as well as like through most of his life he's been his best friend, and like, how his parents and stuff, his dad working so many jobs, like how much it matters, and like he appreciates them.
Hmm.
um so it's like one of those like moments where it was like, I think it was a strong emotional moment. I think especially for Rizzo. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's nice. I still, I'm at the point where bringing them the loved ones actually out there. Like you can have the letters, but at like an earlier stage. But yeah, I do think loved ones should make a return. I know, shocking.
Y'all, this is coming from Joe.
Yeah, I think
This is coming from Joe, who has been
yeah.
on the record to say he hates the loved
I
ones
wouldn't say
episode.
hate it. It's mushy for me. I think it's I think it can be too much. Uh, but I do think that there is some enjoyment that can be found in every person seeing their loved one and having an interaction. I think it allows even the people who've been purpled throughout the season to have a moment to connect with their loved ones, to make them feel maybe a little like they're actually people. Um, I think a lot of new era stuff has stripped away the ability for people to feel like they're actually people. Like it's very like you got to do this one thing, specific thing to get this specific outcome, and it's like I don't know. I think you got to bring it back because there are definitely some fun interactions that we've had and
I
interesting
agree.
people that can get brought on. Whereas like the letters from home, cool that those three specifically got it,
That's
but
more for the contestants, not necessarily for
yeah,
us.
yeah,
Also,
yeah.
congratulations, Joe. Your heart grew 3 sizes today.
I'm not the Grinch.
Yeah, you are the Chaos Gremlin.
Yes, yes, that's correct. So
He even owns it.
yeah. Yeah, so that's my opinion. I think 50 should bring it back, and I think it should just stay here. I think Letters from Home is a great like final 10, like early on in the merge, like the auction, great place to do Letters from Home. I really do like when you have that's kind of tied into the auction. Um, because then like it's obviously emotional and impactful, but they don't got to dwell on it for too long. Like you can kind of give little moments if it's like really important, but the loved ones where they actually see them, like, yeah, that's a great time to like really let every person who managed to make it to a final 6 to 8 scenario like have that moment.
I obviously agree.
Yeah.
But look at you, Joe. You're having that character development.
Okay, I go back. Let's just stick with the letters.
You're only saying that out of spite. Anyway. But yeah, and I mean, like, well, it's not the only time that like loved one letters have like, obviously the Mike Holloway move way back in Survivor 30,
Mhm.
um, with that one where it was just like that's something that like straight up influenced the rest of the game because he was trying to do some shady shit.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's still very big and emotional. Like everyone who goes out there and they know now, oh, I got loved ones who wrote me a letter. Like you wanna read and see what everyone said. Like you want to get that inspiration. It can fuel you to have some more drive for the rest of the game. So yeah, it's definitely nice. But it really is like a fraction of the power of the loved one actually being there.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yeah. Let's see what else on this episode. Yeah, I think that's about
Yeah,
it.
I don't really remember much else. So I guess we go into confessional counts because we value screen time on this channel.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so Steven goes out here with a whopping 61 confessionals.
Not too
61.
shabby.
Yeah, it's third most on the season. And obviously most is still Savannah at 72 confessionals.
Yeah.
Yep, she got 8 this last one. Next we got Sophi B with 64 confessionals, and she also got 8 on this episode.
Makes sense. She was very pivotal when it came to the direction of what this game went.
Yep. And then next up we got Rizz God at 60 confessionals, so he's actually currently one confessional under Steven.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also Steven's boot episode, so like
Yeah,
usually they give him a little more love, but
yeah.
still pretty big episode for Rizzo.
Yep. He got 6 in this episode. Next up, Sage at 57 confessionals. She got 5.
All right.
Okay. How many confessionals does Kristina have?
3. Oh wait, I mean like this episode she got 3.
She got 3. Do you know her total?
Is she still under the Banu bar?
She sure is.
Uh I'm gonna say 29.
You're close, 31.
31. All
So
right.
she's got to get at least 4 confessionals in the finale to tie, 5 to surpass.
That's not a hard milestone in finale because there's literally 5 of you, and especially if you survive at least one round, you should hit that number.
I'm gonna call it now. 3 confessionals for Kristina. I think she's gonna come just under.
I think I'll be like, no, she meets it.
Okay, because I think final 5 she's gonna get 1 confessional, and then she's gonna get 2 confessionals when she's loses in fire, and then that's gonna be it.
I think she's gonna meet it or beat it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, like always, you're the optimist and I'm the pessimist in this situation.
Yep, very much so.
uh,
All right. MVP, I think hands down, it just goes to Rizzo. I feel like this is a very straightforward MVP and LVP.
I mean, I'm going to actually disagree and say that I'm still going to give it to Savannah here. I think her winning that immunity allows everything to happen essentially. Like her, if she loses, the floodgates for her going out this episode like dramatically increases. Um, and for that whole side to really get screwed. But her winning is good. And I would also say I'm not a huge fan of this Rizzo fake idol play. Like I think that this is one of the ones where I definitely saw the jury not be as into it.
I think I would have to like go back and like watch it. I was more
Mm-hmm.
so like, what is like Steven actually going? Is it Sophi B?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't necessarily remember. I remember seeing shocked faces, but
Yeah, I mean Alex, he was like rolling his eyes at Rizzo. Like there's and like everyone was kind of in that same boat. So if you go back and look, like you're not going to see people excited shock. You're going to kind of see like sighs and just ugh. Like they're not into Rizzo right now.
all right. I'm still giving it to Rizzo.
Yeah.
But yeah, Savannah, I feel also definitely deserves it as well.
Yeah.
LVP,
Man,
it has to be
we have a lot of
Sophie.
I don't think so. I agree. I think we have a lot of options. I still think Sage and Kristina made just the wrong choice in yeah, Sophi B like can't win. Like it screwed up by doing that, but also I just think like Sage and Kristina, I mean yeah, they knew like what they could do and like how to be in the numbers and how to guarantee themselves to the end, and they said, "Nah, get that out of here. I don't want it." And threw it on the ground, you know, SNL reference. Um yeah, that's kind of how I felt. So I'm going to say like I really consider what those two did as like worst moves in like new era Survivor. So I'm going to give it to Sage and Kristina.
All right. I mean, that's fair. But yeah, so next week shall be the finale,
Mm-hmm.
where we see we I can't even say what's straight. We see who wins, and then we get our first trailer of Survivor 50, which I think everyone is very excited for. I'm gonna see if I can get to there is a Bryson Wen in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully I can make it. It really depends, but like I'm being like, yo, boss, pay me so I can do stuff and buy presents and go subscriber.
Yeah.
Because I'm very interested to see, like, like, and talk about it with some people. Because, like, obviously, I talk about with you a bunch,
Mm-hmm.
but to get some like other perspectives on everything going into the next season.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Also meeting
Absolutely.
some peeps.
Yeah, definitely. That's some of the best stuff of it. You know, maybe we'll see Emily flipping again.
Emily Flippin, yeah. So yeah, that's it for now, and we shall see you next time.
Do we want to just for the records
For the record,
give a placement of where we think these final five ends?
uh,
I've already given you mine, so this is definitely like I'm curious to see what you're gonna say.
you usually give yours first, and so like I want to be different and then say
Mm-hmm.
something else, but
You can say the same. Like don't feel like you just got to be contrarian here.
I will say that I think it's pretty much the same. I think you also make a pretty good argument when it comes to Rizzo annoying the jury because maybe the shtick got a little old, and
Mm-hmm.
then it's like, but then maybe the shtick got a little old, and so like, yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I
I can
think
see Rizzo like getting a vote or two, like kind of like people still respecting him, or, but I don't see I am now in the like Savannah's got like a 95% chance to win, Rizzo with like a 5% chance. Like it can happen. It would be like a crazy like shocking thing a little bit, but I like it's there, and then everyone else has 0% chance.
like, so I'm trying to think like knowing what we know, but like all if I'm trying to like remove that,
Uh-huh.
Kristina could because she's likable and other stuff we've talked about. Uh Sage could possibly win at the end because she played in the middle and she's not Savannah and Rizzo. So it's
I'm
like
shocked that you just said Sage and Christina as like they have a chance. I just don't.
I'm trying to be like if I'm playing it in the game, I'm trying like
Yeah.
why are some reasons these two can win? And like especially if it's oh, people might be a little bit tired of the trio or something like that, then like maybe. But I just don't see it as likely because that trio doesn't look like it's going to turn on each other. And I mean, like
Yeah.
at this point, there's one more vote. You turn on one, then it's like I, I think this is another thing I guess we can touch on. It's like if you turn on your trio at final five, let's say the one person that survives that wins a thing, you know your butt's going to fire making, or
Hmm.
like something like that. It's just like, well, you burned me. Good luck trying to beat such and such at the end. And you have to earn your place now when you could have just sat by my side.
Hmm. Yeah. I just know the editing has basically hand fisted that this is Savannah and Rizzo. I mean,
Yeah.
like, not even. They haven't tried to like make it not be that. It has very clearly been the Savannah Rizzo show. They should go back to theme for just the season and call it the Savannah and Rizzo show because that would be fitting.
All right. Till next time, everyone.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. We will see you all